Good evening, and welcome to another pontificating version of Diatribes from your voice of doom. Now here's your ponderous and premeditative host, Voice of Doom. Alright, I changed the background a bit. Getting sick of being stuck in the bedroom doing these diatribes over and over again, being minimalist and hoping that people appreciate what I'm doing as a minimalist. I don't have clips from other news places, and I know why I'm not getting anywhere with this YouTube channel, because it's just me and people get bored with that. They want to see snippets and snappets of other things happening in the news from Fox or from, Megyn Kelly or from whoever, and play that and then comment and go back and forth and do like that. And when I watch people that are just talking at their desk for 15 minutes, I get bored too. It's hard to watch. So I understand why nobody watches this. I'm not going to blame YouTube. I'm not going to blame anybody. But I will just go on with my comments. Now, I want to talk about the microcosm first, because I'm on the horns of a dilemma of what I really want to do, and it's going to come down to what I'm going to do tomorrow and how I handle things, and thinking about my entire life of how I handle things and how I should handle things now. And I'm at a loss. I've asked for advice from people, or whether I ask for advice, they give it anyway. And mostly it's varied, and it's kind of like it's at odds with who I am as a person, but who I am as a person is not that great. And the worst things about me are qualities that people might think are good and compassionate, and you're just a nice guy. Well, that's one of my worst qualities, is I try to always be nice to everybody, and I want to help, and I want to, if they need me, I try to help them. And if I can't, usually it ends up being I apologize to them because I missed their call, or they left me a text message, and it's like I don't look at my phone every 2 minutes like the rest of this cattle company. I just don't do it, so I miss messages, and then I feel bad because somebody wanted my help, and I can't help everybody, and yet I feel bad about it. Now, it has nothing to do with the problem I have now. The problem I have now is I don't know if I want to work at this place that I'm working at. I don't want to work in general, but if I were to chant for what my ideal situation would be, aside from just having $1 million so I didn't have to do anything and I was beholden to no one, would be to play music for money, because not many people can still do that. They can bring their computers in, they can bring the drum machine in and do this and that, and it's going to be a very pre-programmed performance. But not many people can sit down at the piano and just start playing music and play hundreds of songs one after the other. And that's one claim to fame that I have. I don't play that well. I'm not a virtuoso, but I know a lot of songs, and if I don't know them, I can fake them. If I've heard them, I can fake them. So that's a dying art, and nobody wants to pay for music anymore because they have enough trouble trying to pay for the cooks and the waiters and the bussers without having to worry about paying for some musician that comes in and plays and is not that busy. And so they end up paying the musician like $100 for 4 hours work, and then tips. And they may be not in the position to do that. Okay. But that's what I'd really like to do, because I can just sit down and play music and just do 50 minutes out of an hour for like 4 hours, and then pack it up and talk to people, and they say, yeah, they really liked it, and blah, blah, blah. But the dilemma is this. I don't know if I want to work tomorrow. I have to go in and be trained again, which to me is, I don't know how to put it into words. No matter who they are, I've been working in restaurants since before they were born. And they're going to call me in and tell me I need to be trained again because I don't understand the policy and procedures of their idiotic organization. Now, in the old days, I would just say, you're idiots, and be fired immediately, and that would be that. And now it's like, I mean, I've been practicing Buddhism. I was always taught from my leaders to not defend yourself, which sounds cowardly, but it's like, not talking about being in the field with bayonets. I'm talking about, when people accuse you of something, or they say you're this or that, don't just automatically knee-jerk reaction say, oh, you're wrong, and blah, blah, blah. You can reflect on yourself. If they think this, there must be a reason. Okay. So reflect on yourself and try to improve, because if everybody did that on this planet, we'd have peace. That goes without saying, but nobody understands it. Now, I don't know if I want to defend myself when I know that they're wrong. I mean, I want to defend myself because I know they're wrong. The factors in their policy. First of all, the place drives you like a slave. It's ridiculous. It should be brought up on charges for the way they treat their employees, because, yeah, okay, the shifts are only 4 to 5 hours, but there's no downtime. You don't even look like you want to think for a minute, because somebody will ask you for help. And the place is a shambles. They want to just squeeze in as many people as they can to get that many more hamburgers sold, no matter what. Squeeze in 5 or 10 million people into this building, as long as you can keep on pumping out the burgers and giving them a check. And it's madness. But the reason that I am leaving, so that's not a question. I'm not going to stay there through the winter, because I don't want to drive to Reno in the snow or in the bad weather, because I don't want to do that, and the end's coming anyway. But I kind of wanted to work until October 24th or so, because then I can not work and go with Benjamin, and we're going to take a road trip up to Seattle and spend about 4, 5, 6 days bumming around the northwest of the United States and coming back. And time is growing short, and there may not be that many opportunities to do something like that. So I want to do it. Now, I could keep my job now and ask for the time off and probably get it. And if they foul up, which they've done before on my schedule, I've specifically asked for days that I need off, and they don't give it to me because they space it out. And if they space it out and I'm up in Everett, Washington, I won't be able to be at work. So that's their problem. But I want to take this vacation and I want to change my job. I can't work there. I'm not going to work there. It's not for me. But I kind of wanted to work there until late October and then go on this trip and then start a new job and just plan it out. Find a new place, say I can start on this day, take it or lump it, and then go on this thing. If we can drive up to the northwest without running into a conflagration or Yellowstone going off. But that's my dilemma, because I just as soon go into work tomorrow and hand in my stuff and say it's not for me. Then I leave myself susceptible to not having an income. And since I was a poor planner, could have had a lot of money right now if I could have just not spent it all on raising kids and paying mortgages and paying car payments and insurance and electricity and water and cable and garbage and food and gas and luxuries like new clothes once in a while. I might have had a retirement plan where I could be retired right now, or at least free to not have to work, because retirement's no good if you don't have anything to do. It's really boring. So that's my dilemma, but I'll just have to deal with it tomorrow and decide what my mood is, because I could go in very happy and going, yes, I appreciate the feedback, and I'm eager to be trained again by you little kids who don't know anything. But then, on the other hand, they could say something and I would just say goodbye. I'm too old for this crap, and I'm not going to be here in a few months anyway, so let's just end it. And brush the dust and dirt off my shoes and as I depart, and don't let the door hit my butt. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So the news. This is going to be long because I wasted so much time with this microcosm. All right, my stalwart fan Nick and Michael Savage, who you probably heard on the radio, who's a bitter, acerbic radio host, kind of got me thinking, especially Savage, because he laid down what, all these assassinations always have to be obfuscated in lies. So it's never like you think it is. And between Nick's theories and Savage's, I just don't think this guy did it. He may take the fall for it. Nick's theory is that people are paid to take falls, and that their families are set up for life if they just become the patsy, become the James Earl Rays, become the Lee Harvey Oswalds, become the Sirhans, all of whom never did what they were accused of doing, but they took the fall. And the same thing is happening here, because just as I told you a few days ago, this Kirk thing is much bigger than Martin Luther King. Instead of burning down buildings, people are galvanizing, people are gathering, people are saying, we're not going to take it, and we're not going to burn down buildings, but this is going to end, and we're going to pressure you by our mere numbers and our mere idea that we're the owners of the businesses that you work in, and then you go on YouTube or Twitter or TikTok and do some stupid ass comment and get your job lost. And now that you want to get another job, you can't get one, because we don't want heartless monsters in our company. We don't want people that cheer death on an innocent person cheer the assassination of someone who just wants to share ideas and maybe improve the world, and you're going to be so callous because of your ideology, which is twisted. It's very twisted. To rationalize chuckling and laughing and cheering on murder. I mean, if the right wing did it with that Ukrainian woman or whatever, or whoever the hell he is that got his neck squeezed by the police in Minnesota, whatever the hell his name is, who was idolized, and they make statues, put his damn frickin' face on Mount Rushmore because he had to be subdued and the cop killed him. Whatever. Not rehash that. So, point being is Fall Guys being paid. That's Nick's theory. Now, Savage kind of put together a thing, and I would go to his website and watch it. It's like, now, what you're telling me is this guy climbed up on a roof, and I saw the roof, and it's about 20 feet high. So he climbed up with his backpack. He crouched down and put together whatever, high velocity bolt rifle, whatever they call it. He put it together on the roof without anybody noticing, and he waited for the right question, which came right away about transgender, and that was his cue to line up his target in his sight in this old rifle, hunting rifle, pull off a perfect shot, and whether it was going for the chest, neck, or head, it hit. And then he calmly dismantled the gun, put it in the backpack, jumped, and they show footage of a guy jumping 20 feet down with his backpack, which I would think most people would sprain something, but he goes scurrying off, and then changes his clothes somewhere in the middle, goes into the woods and reassembles the gun and puts it in a towel and puts that in a box and leaves it in the woods and runs away. Okay? Put that all together in your head. So if something stinks, and that's what's going to bring the left and right together once and for all to go against the powers that be and be killed. Because both the left and the right think something stinks. The left doesn't want to believe that it's a lefty that just was all concerned about transgender. And the right doesn't want to believe any of it at all, because they know how assassinations go. And the point of getting an assassination of this nature is advantageous for both sides, especially the powers that be, the elite, because they need a distraction, and they need a martyr, and they need people to be pitted one against the other. And who better than Charlie Kirk to fulfill all those criteria? So that's probably the truth. I mean, if you boil that right down, somebody else did it. He was preordained to be killed by the elitists in order to further their fiendish agenda, which includes 6 billion people being, probably more than 6 billion, but getting rid of 6 billion people. And soon. And all the portents and omens are pointing towards September being a horrible month, and it's half over, so I guess we got 2 weeks. So that's another reason to just not bother going to work, because I don't want to be in Reno when the EMP hits, or the CME, or this alien aircraft comes swooping down. I don't want to be in Reno and be dealing with blue anon, idiot, liberal, moron, hippie, old 75-year-old white hippies. Because then I'll just panic and run them all over. So that's another reason to quit. This was a long one. I'm sorry it was so boring, but I had to talk about a few things. Kind of get it off my chest. If you have any suggestions about how I should continue my life, put it in the comments, which nobody will. Thanks, and good night.